7 lines from the bottom. Amurabba. Good base on Zalaf Amurabba. Bachinina. Nice name, Chinna. We don't use that a lot nowadays, right? Chinna. Sabo. Chinna Sabo. Mishmei the Rav. Okay, because it's the name of Rav. What did Rav say? Koshleom emes v'yatziv shachris v'emes v'umuna arvis lo yotzi lechavasai. In the morning you have to say emes v'yatziv, in the evening you have to say emes v'emuna. You didn't say it, lo yotzi lechavasai, shnema lahagid ba'abayke chastecha v'emunascha ba'leilis. So emes v'yatziv, that's referring to Hashem's chesed. That he does that. Emes v'emuna is referring to the fact that we believe, we trust something that's going to happen in the future. It's talking about the Gula Asida, that he will be Goelas, he will redeem us. So you have to say both in the morning, in the morning when we see the good, when it's light, day is time of chesed, speak about Hashem's chesed, emes v'yatziv, and the night, it's time of darkness, we speak about the fact that Amunah, we believe it's going to be light again. In this world, there's Laila, it's going to become Or. We're in the Chayshach now. That's what we say. Interestingly, so the Mepharshim say that the emes v'yatziv, the emes part isn't going on the fact we're saying that the Krishma is emes, that we said that Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, that's emes. That's not what we're saying emes v'yatziv about. Emes v'yatziv Nochem Mekayim Yashua Dovar Zalein Lavad. The emes is going on the rest of the parsha v'yatziv. That's why there's like a separation in the Siddur, and it says emes v'yatziv. Emes is part of the v'yatziv, not a part of the Kriya Shema. It's not Hashem Elokeichem emes, and we're saying Hashem Elokeichem, that's true. The ik kavanah is that it's going on the rest of the parsha, that everything in the world is chesed and kindness, whatever it is. That's what we're saying emes about. Okay. Take a look actually in Rashi, the second last narrow line in Rashi. Shneim al hagi b'bayke chastecha. So, emes v'yatziv is talking about all the chesed he did with us. He took us out of Mitzrayim, Kriyas Yamsuf, the whole parsha, till Shemona Esra, is all talking about the chesed he did with us. It's all the chesed that Hashem has done for Klal Yisrael. Emes Emunah is talking about what's going to be in the future. So, that we have bitachon, that he's going to help us out, he's going to take care of us, he's going to take us out from all of our enemies. Okay, says the gemorah. This is already a very halachic gemorah. How do you bow down when you daven? Amar Rav Chinna Saba Mishmei the Rav. Another memra in the name of Rav. When you daven, when you pray and you bow down when you say the word Baruch. You say Baruch Ata Hashem, you bow down to the word Baruch, because you're Zoikev Hashem. You stand up when you say the Shem Hashem. Why? Omar Shmuel, my timer, why do you do like that? The Chsev Hashem is Zoikev Kufrim. Hashem straightens up the bent people. Hashem makes you upright. So that's why you straighten up when you say the Shem Hashem. Meisavei mipnei shemi nachasu miksiv bishmi. Because of my name, he's lowered. Miksiv bishmi with my name. Mipnei shmi mipnei shmiksiv. Before my name. That's the mashmalis of the pasuk. Before my name, when you say Baruch Atah, you bow down before my name. Amalei Shmuel lechir bar Rav bar Urion. It's machlek as if Urion was his name, or it just means he was enlightened with the Torah, or if his name was enlightened. He said, come here, I'll tell you something. Your father told me the what? Because you correct Rabbi Baruch, because you Zoikev Hashem. When you bow down, we say Baruch, and when you straighten up when you say the Shem Hashem. That's what your father told me. Now turn the page. There's one more little line in the sugya. Shas kikara kara chizra. When you bow down like a chizra. Rashi, it's a bit of machlek is what this means. Kizakif kechivya. When you bent up, when you got up by saying Shem Hashem, you got up like a snake. So l'chayra, the chizra Rashi says is sheva b'yad adam. It's a stick. When you hit a stick down, you don't do it slowly. You bang fast. That's how you bow down. You don't go down slowly like you've got all the time in the world. It's gaiva, the Rishonim say. You bowing down to Hashem, you bow down fast. But when you get up slowly like a snake. You don't want to get up. You're showing that you're getting up slowly, controlled. It's not like, okay, I'm out of here. Get up quickly. That's the idea. So there's a couple of very big machlokes in this gemorah about bowing down and getting up. Halacha l'maisa, the gemorah doesn't talk about what you should be doing when you say Hashem. You say Baruch, blessed ata you Hashem. You get up by Shem Hashem. So many people do and think and know. So it says in the Mishnah Berurah even that you bend. I can't remember which one of the Achronim say by Baruch comes from a berach. Called berach. We bend our knees. When you say berach, you bend your knees. Ata, you bend down at the waist, and Hashem, you get up. Our Gemara doesn't talk about the word ata. The Gemara just talks about baruch. What'd you do with baruch? Baruch. So what do? You bow down. The mashmais of our Gemara is what the Achronim explain is the mashmais of the Gemara is you start bowing down when you say baruch. While you're saying ata, you still bow down. And Hashem, you get up. So when you're saying ata, you fully bow down. The question is if by baruch it means you should be bowed down or you should bend your knees. Seems to be a bit of a machlaikas. Our Gemara doesn't mention anything about bending the knees. It's just talking about bending. By Maidim, a lot of Mefarshim say by Maidim you don't bend your knees at all. There's no shita you bend your knees. You just bow down at the hip, at the waist. Others say no, by Maidim you also bow down at the knees. But the Pasha says you don't bow down at the knees. By Maidim, there are others that say you do. I don't know if it distracts from bowing down at the knees. The question is how much do you have to bow down? And what is this business about doing it like a snake? So the Arizal was medayik from this gemorah. It says what's the lashon? Korea b'baruch. Korea. There's like a double lashon. He could have just said have a korea b'baruch. What does it mean? You should korea b'baruch. The Arizal says there's two kriyas going on over here. There's two bowing downs. First your body and then your head. So says the Arizal, you're supposed to first bow your body down and then your head. And when you get up, you should first pick up your head and then your body. Head, body. Right? Or is it the other way around? He says first your body, then your head. Rashi seems to be saying, take a look in Rashi, Zokif Kechivya, first line in the Rashi. You should straighten up like a snake. Rashi says, Benachas, get up slowly. Now Rashi throws in something else. Rashi throws in, get up slowly, but what? According to Rashi, we learn out two things from the fact that you should get up like a snake. First of all, you get up slowly. Snakes, they don't jump up, they move slowly, right? And the other thing he says is, the snakes, they do first the head, and then the body goes up. Says the Arizal, I've never seen a snake doing that. Normally the body goes up, and then the head flips up. So he says the other way around. First, body of the snake, maybe there's different types of snakes. Cobras, I think, actually do pick up the head first, and then they raise, right? I don't know, you're the expert. Cobras pick up the head first, then the body goes up, I think. No? That's
what do I know about snakes?
It doesn't say what snakes. Someone's asking what snakes. It doesn't say what snakes.
One thing I know about snakes,
so,
stay away.
One thing's for sure is they get up slowly. So when you get up, you should get up slowly. That's for sure. I mean, there's different snakes. I don't know. Maybe it's a certain type of snake. I don't know. But one thing for sure, the snakes get up slowly, Rashi says. They get up slowly. And according to Rashi, the head goes up first. According to the Arizal, the body goes up first. Machlaikas. Either way, it seems to be that some say, no, you do it all in one go. You bend down in one go. You get up in one go. You don't bend down and then head down. It's one movement. How much do you have to bend down? So it says later on in the Gemara, take a look at Taisus. you're not yetzer bound down if you don't bend your head. You have to bend your head. V'chenis of Yerushalmi. Okay, then it says in Yerushalmi, "B'vat shelo yeshuach yosim yadai." Don't bend down too much. When you bow down, you should be down too much. Meaning, Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah, "B'vat shelo yaseh kahadin chadita." Find the Yerushalmi shel tzav. That tzav kshu sheich harosh is zokuf. Don't do it like a turtle. What's a tzav? Like a tortoise, a turtle. Don't be like a turtle. You bend down and your head's up like that, where you're keeping, you keep your eyes forward. Your eyes should be down. Your head should be down. Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Okay, then he goes into Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. What do we do? The other questions that we're trying to speak about is how much you have to bend down. So the Gemara says somewhere that you're supposed to bend down enough that you see all the ksharim of your spine, all your, what do they call them? All your vertebrae. Your vertebrae are all popping out. That's how much you should bend down, right? It's not just like a little, you see some people bow down a little bit. No, your vertebrae should be popping out. I did experiment, and for me, and maybe other people are different, my vertebrae pop out. If I move my shoulders forward, they pop out. I can bend down all I want. If my shoulders are back, they're not popping out, right? But I think when you bend down and you put your head forward, naturally your shoulders, unless you're concentrating, that movement is going to curl your shoulders forward and they will pop out. For some reason, when you bend your head down, the vertebrae pop out. Personal experimentation. I don't know. Tell me if it works differently for your physiology. So, question is, how much do you have to bend down? So, the place can say that you shouldn't bend down that your head is parallel to your waist. That's too far. If you've gone, this is your body, if you've gone 90 degrees, no good. So what does it say? It says in the Gemara, your head should be above your belt level, right? So that's quite a far. Now, it doesn't say you should be halfway, but it's got to be like somewhere between where all your vertebrae pop out and the belt level. I guess if it says you shouldn't hit the belt, it means that you should be pretty close to the belt, but don't go that far. Okay. Big kashas. What do people do? I don't know.
There's one guy who comes and visits here occasionally.
Yeah.
Just not 100%.
Okay.
Most
people aren't 100%, right?
He goes down all the way on his knees.
Yeah.
Maybe you've seen this guy.
And
he goes all the way down his knees like this, and then he stands up.
So what the Mefarshim say is, why do we bend on Nisan Baruch? Because in the base of Mikdash, they used to, when we did the Shtachava, the word to be Baruch is from the word Berach, maybe. You bend your knees. Berach is your knees. And when they did a Shtachava in the base of Mikdash, or we do on Rosh Hashanah, you go down on your knees, on your Berach. So real Baruch is to go all the way down on your knees, right? So we don't go down that far. We bend the knees a little bit. We don't go down to the floor. We bend the knees a bit. I don't know how much you should bend your knees. It doesn't say how much you should bend your knees, but the idea is that, so what the Mefarshim explain is, why would you bend your knees by Baruch and straighten up by Hashem? You bend your knees by Baruch, that everything comes from above. We're low and he's the Baruch. What's the Baruch? Baruch is that Hashem's above and the Shefa's coming down on us. We're low and he's high and he's just pouring down on us beautiful parnasa, health, wealth, happiness. Bend your knees. But when you say Hashem Zeikev Kfufim, either because it's a sign of bitachon, right? Hashem Zeikev Kfufim, have bitachon on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem loves you. Hashem wants you to be straight. Hashem wants you to be Elecha. I saw Mefarshim, I never knew this before, but they say it's important to be completely out. You say Shem Hashem, just like it's a mitzvah to bend down when you say Baruch, it's a mitzvah to be totally upright when you say Hashem. Hashem Zeikev Kfufim. It's not just like don't bend. I always thought it was don't bend. Straighten up. No. Zeikev Kfufim. You say Shem Hashem, you should be extra upright. Interesting. I never knew that. That's some Mefarshim say. And the idea being that have bitachon, love of Hashem, where Hashem doesn't want you to be bent down. Hashem wants you to be, when in the presence of the king, ein lovay bevush sak b'shar melech. You can't be, when you're standing in front of Hashem, you even say Hashem's name, don't be depressed, don't be sad, you have to be a simcha. You have to be confident and happy. Okay, and says the Gemara. So, We're on Yut Beis on a base, second line. Another memra of Rav B'china in the name of Rav. The whole year you say in the third bracha Shemon Esra Hakel HaKadosh, and later on you say Melech Oyev Tzedakah Mishpat. Chutz Masal Yom Shmein Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur Asesi Metshuva, aka Shemespalim HaMelech HaKadosh VaHaMelech HaMishpat. Then you change it, you say HaMelech HaKadosh and HaMelech HaMishpat. Reb Eliezer Omar Afilu Omar Hakel HaKadosh Yotza. If you said Hakel HaKadosh, you're Yotza. Reb Eliezer says if you say Hakel HaKadosh, you're Yotza, you don't have to say HaMelech HaMishpat. In other words, why? Because why should you say HaMelech HaKadosh? Because it's days of judgment. And Rashi explains, Rashi says first, last white line in Rashi, Hashem shows that he's the judge, he's the king by judging the world on Asesi Metshuva. That's why you say HaMelech HaKadosh. Says Reb Eliezer, why do they say Yuyetz with Hakel HaKadosh? Because he judges us with Chesed. So if you say Hakel HaKadosh, Yuyetz, says Reb Eliezer. Right? Shenema v'yik b'Hashem tzvakas b'mishpat v'hakel HaKadosh nikdash b'tzedakah. Ein masa v'yik b'Hashem tzvakas b'mishpat ele asar yom shebein Rosh Hashanah v'ad Yom HaKippurim. V'ka'oma hakel HaKadosh, it says hakel HaKadosh nikdash b'tzedakah. So my avala, what happens with this machlekes? Do you have to say Melech HaKadosh or Hakel HaKadosh? Omer of Yosef. Rav Yosef says hakel HaKadosh v'melech HaKadosh mishpat. Rabba Omer HaMelech HaKadosh v'melech HaMishpat. V'ilchas HaKorabah, we passing like Rabba, you got to say HaMelech HaKadosh. That's what we do.
Back.
You have to say Melech HaKadosh, says Taisvis. Since we passing like Rabba, V'ilchas HaKavase. If you didn't say it, take a look at Taisvis V'ilchas HaKavase the Rabba. The Tzorach Lachsei HaMelech HaKadosh v'HaMelech HaMishpat v'im lo yama. Machzir Noisai, daven again. Go back. V'chein says Taisvis, v'chein ina Micha Meicha v'chein L'chaim b'Sefer Chaim machzir Noisai lo yama. Why? The Kolam Shan and Mebeh Shashon Echachom Ein Yes Dechavasai. If you change the Chazal and the Saken, you're not Yetzer, do it again. It was a beautiful tefillah. Say it again, you're Mishana. I think the Rosh says that HaMelech HaKadosh v'Hakel HaKadosh, you go back. But Zechein L'chaim and Micha Meicha, you don't go back for. And that's how we paskin. You don't go back if you forgot Zechein L'chaim. There was a sheet to brought down the Chayadim, I can't remember which quote, it's a sefer I've never heard of, that on the first night of Rosh Hashanah, right, the first time you're supposed to say HaMelech HaKadosh, if you said instead Hakel HaKadosh, then you don't go back, even if you're the Shita. Why? Because it's like a Rosh Chodesh. If you said the whole tefillah, but you missed one thing, since the whole thing is HaMelech HaMelech, you don't have to go back. I think that's his svara.
I would think opposite.
First night you
do go back.
But Pashas, you go back. It seems to be Machlokes Chayyim says he brings a sheet. You don't go back. There's a whole of Moshe about it. I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing. Machlokes if the first time Rosh Hashanah go back. That's the time you normally forget. It's like the first time. Oh, I did. I stay. You can't remember. Okay. Says the Gemorah. It's getting very late. It says Gemorah. Another memra. This is an unbelievable memra. If you could daven for a friend, you don't pray for a friend. Notice, what are we talking about? You don't daven for a friend? Anything. It doesn't say what we're talking about. Is he sick? He needs parnasa, whatever it is. You got a friend. Who's a friend? I don't know. How friendly does he have to be for you to be considered the chayta? Doesn't say. But you got a friend. You're a sinner. You're a sinner if you don't pray for your friends. Unbelievable. Chas v'shon, to think that I didn't daven for you. This is, I think, Shmuel said, right? If you're a Talmud Chacham, you got to make yourself sick. You got to make yourself sick for the guy. So it's actually machlokes. What does sheyichle? We know chayli means sick. Mepharshim saying it actually means you have to mitzvah yourself for him.
It means there's the right that you shouldn't hang out with Talmidei Chachamim because is that a risk?
No, not that you have to make sick for Talmud Chacham. If you're a Talmud Chacham and your friend gets sick or your friend needs a tefillah, he needs a shidduch, then the Talmud Chacham has to be Mitzayah himself to daven for the friend. Not be Mitzayah himself for a Talmud Chacham. L'chayra. Well, it could be you're right. It could be you're right. L'chayra, the raya is, we're going to see, is that if he's a Talmud Chacham, we'll see. So you have to make, so the Mefarshim say, Yishich is a raya from here. The Yichla doesn't mean you have to become sick praying for the guy. It means Chayli actually comes from the word Tsar. You have to be Mitzayah, you have to daven so much that you're B'tzar for this person. You have to actually feel his pain. If it's Talmud Chacham. What does Rashi say here? Good question. Let's see the rayas. How do we know this? In my time, even so this was Shaul HaMelech. Shaul, he was sick. And he's saying, no one's getting sick for me. No one's praying for me. No one was mitzayah themselves for me. He's suffering from David, whatever it was. And he said, none of you were davening for me. None of you became perturbed by my problems. None of you got what's called. So Dilma, the Gemara says, you can't bring a raya from Shaul HaMelech. Why? Dilma Melech shiny, of course. If the king is suffering, pray for the king. Be mitzayah yourself. He's a king. You don't have to be mitzayah yourself for everyone. Elamach, a different pasuk. Vani b'chaloisam levushi v'goyma. Okay, it brings a different pasuk. So, 1 second. You're right. Take a look in Rashi. According to Rashi, according to Rashi says like you, that if the guy that's sick is a Talmud Chacham, if the guy that needs Racham is Talmud Chacham, then you have to make yourself sick for him. I definitely saw someone else learning it differently. Okay. So the pasuk that he quotes is talking about Doigen Achitayfel, that David said that he prayed for them. He made himself sick for them, and they were Talmidei Chacham, Rashi says, because he's holding the same thing. According to Rashi, he's saying, Doigen Achitayfel, they were Talmidei Chachamim, and David said he made himself sick for them. And they weren't king, so you see, you've got to make yourself sick, or be mitzayah yourself for these other people. Interestingly, what you see from here is that a certain type of prayer is tsar. It's not comfortable. It's not geschmack. You're praying for someone, you have to be mitzayah yourself. Says the gemorah. Now that we said the guy's chaytev, he just doesn't even pray for his friend, now he says something else. If a person does an avera, but he's embarrassed, he did one avera and you're embarrassed, every avera you ever did, you're nimcha. And I think the Mefarshim say this is even bigger than Yom Kippur, this is bigger than Yom Chasta, because there it talks about, Benon Mokom, not Benon Chavera. Here, a guy does an avera, he's embarrassed. You're nimcha for all your averas. Everything you ever did, you get a kapara for. Everything. Unbelievable. That's the high, it's the highest dag of tshuva. Is you did an avera and you push it embarrassed, you did it. I guess people don't want to do it again. If they're embarrassed, it's like the highest level of staying away from the avera. I don't know.
I'm saying, it depends. If people do an avera publicly,
then
you're much more embarrassed.
So we're going to see, it means you're embarrassed from Hashem. You're not embarrassing people. You got to be embarrassed from Hashem. Many people do an avera and they're embarrassed from it. They get caught. Whoops, I'm embarrassed. That's me.
No.
You're not
whoops, I got caught is not an embarrassment thing. It's a avera, I got caught.
No, but even if you're embarrassed, you get caught. You're embarrassed now. They ruined your life. You can't show your face in public. That means all your averas are wiped out because they caught you. People will be running around doing averas to get caught, right? They'll be with the care people will push. Go do an avera in public, get caught, and then you'll be embarrassed. You have a couple of averas. No. It means a person, he comes to realization, you're standing in front of Hashem, and you're embarrassed from him. Everything Hashem's done, how could you betray him like that? You're embarrassed. So it says the gemorah, because of your embarrassment. So Hashem will have compassion for everything he did because of klimascha, because of his embarrassment, because of his disgrace. Dilma tzibur shiny. So the Gemara says maybe that's talking about a tzibur, a public. That pasuk is talking about the whole of Klal Yisrael. They were embarrassed. So if the whole of Klal Yisrael is embarrassed, so that's different. Interesting enough, Michtav Meliyo, I think it is, or someone, I can't remember who it is, asks, I don't understand, whenever you do something in public, there's less of an embarrassment. Normally
Why?
embarrassment is you did something. I did something wrong, I'm embarrassed. When there's a tzibur, you're less embarrassed, no? There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Everyone did it. If everyone's doing something wrong, you come to Shemayim, you say, oh, you're wearing white shirts. You should be embarrassed. Well, everyone's wearing white shirts. Like, what's the problem, you know? Well, okay, I was wrong. I spoke Lashon, but guess what? Everyone does it. So it's not that embarrassing. You get caught doing something out of the ordinary. You get caught doing something like, no one else is doing. You're much more embarrassed.
Yeah, but also, in a group atmosphere, if you do something wrong, right, so it reflects on the group. Let's say you have a group of people talking in shul, right, and the Rav,
So everyone's embarrassed.
so the whole animal is embarrassed.
Yeah, but it's much more embarrassing if he says, Yanko, stop talking. That's a lot. Try it out.
Yeah, it's
a lot more
true.
embarrassing.
It's
A lot more
true.
embarrassing.
It's still, you know.
And in fact, I think halacha l'maisa, if you want to shush someone in shul, well, the place
you
would
should
say
go
is,
to them.
if you, let's say you can't go over to them, you're in the middle of Davik Shmoneh Esrei, you can't go over to them. You want to be goyer by, like, I looked this up because I know someone that likes to shush people, and the halacha is that you're not supposed to look at the guy, just say shh, without looking at anyone, and everyone, without embarrassing anyone. No one thinks, oh, he's looking at that guy, shh.
But everyone knows who you're talking to.
Do a
Everyone
general
knows who you're
shush
talking
if you're, no, not necessarily. No, not everyone's looking. All right, we're going to wrap it up today right over here because we're over time. Thank you very much. It's
I have a question for you.